Hello, PBC family. I have a question for you tonight. Do you ever get tunnel vision? Do you ever get so focused on what is happening right now that you lose sight of the bigger picture? I had a professor in college who often said, "Don't lose the forest for the trees." You know, it's so easy for us to make decisions that feel good right now, that are just about this moment, that we don't think through how these will have an impact on our future. We've just finished up a sermon series called Strong, where we were looking into the book of Joshua. And Joshua is this amazing person and leader. He did an incredible job leading the people of Israel. But let me read to you from Judges chapter 2, where we get, in the words of Paul Harvey, for those of you who remember him, the rest of the story. In Judges chapter 2, starting in verse 7, it says, "The people served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and of the elders who outlived him, and who had seen all the great things the Lord had done for Israel. Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110. And they buried him in the land of his inheritance, at Timnath-Heres, in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gaash. After that whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up who knew neither the Lord nor what he had done for Israel. Then the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord and served the Baals. They forsook the Lord, the God of their ancestors, who had brought them out of Egypt. They followed and worshipped various gods of the peoples around them. They aroused the Lord's anger because they forsook him and served Baal and the Ashtoreths. In his anger against Israel, the Lord gave them into the hands of raiders and who plundered them. He sold them into the hands of their enemies all around, whom they were no longer able to resist. Whenever Israel went out to fight, the hand of the Lord was against them to defeat them, just as he had sworn to them. They were in great distress." Joshua served the Lord faithfully throughout the course of his life. He led the people of Israel to do the same thing. And the other elders and leaders of his generation, the people who had seen God do these amazing things in parting the Jordan River and bringing the walls of Jericho down and more, they also served the Lord through their lifetime. But they did not pass along to the next generation the faith. They did not help that next generation follow God, and the results were disastrous. I can't help but wonder if that generation got tunnel vision. If they got caught up in their life, if they got caught up in what they were doing, if they got caught up in the challenges that they were facing, that they forgot about this incredibly important thing that God called them to and God calls us to, which is to pass the faith along to others. That they didn't pass it on to those who are coming after them, and they didn't set that generation up for success like they had. One of the Native American tribes in Minnesota, where I grew up, are the Ojibwe. The Ojibwe have this concept of 7 generations, that you are one generation, and that there are 3 generations behind you. And that those generations made decisions, and they planted seeds, and they did things that are affecting you today. But then there are also 3 generations ahead of you that are yet to come, and they're going to be impacted by what you do in your life. So the mindset that the Ojibwe sought to cultivate was to always make decisions for 7 generations, to have this understanding of the past and how that has impacted us and in this moment, but also to be looking forward and thinking through our decisions and how that's going to impact those who come after us. It's not just thinking about yourself and right now or your immediate future, but how does this decision, how is what I am doing today going to impact the coming generations? Will it help or will it harm them? As human beings, we have a propensity towards tunnel vision. We have a propensity towards selfishness, excuse me, towards self-centeredness. We have a propensity towards looking out for number one. But God calls us to something higher. God calls us to something greater. God calls us to something better. In times of chaos and turbulence and where there's rapid change, like what we're in right now, we are going to be tempted to get tunnel vision and think only of ourselves and only about this moment. I know I have to fight that temptation in my life right now. Don't give in to that temptation. Let God give you the perspective, the strength, and the wisdom that you will need to live for 7 generations. Let's let God make us the people that the world needs right now. People who are serving God wholeheartedly ourselves, but who are also doing everything that we can to pass the faith along to others, to help others come to know Jesus so that they can experience the good that God wants to do in their lives. And the thing about this is you never know what God will do. And maybe, just maybe, the coming generations will even surpass us in their faithfulness to the Lord, in part because of our faithfulness in this moment. I hope you have a great week, church, and God bless you.